So never in the history of the UFC have interim titles meant less than they ever have at this fucking point in time. Interim titles have been, a bit of a meme over the last few years. Like some of them just don't make any sense. But lately they've been worse than ever. These interim titles. We had Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett being for an interim title. Like, I get it, it made the fight feel a bit bigger, but we don't even need to use that, interim title fight excuse now to have 5 round co-main events, 5 round feature fights. Like, we've seen plenty of non-title fight, 5 round co-main events, feature fights. Like, it's just a commonplace thing nowadays on big pay-per-views. Like, that's when it was justified to, people would be like, oh, the interim title doesn't really make much sense, but, we can have a 5 round main event. But I guess, at least with the Yair Rodriguez example, Yair Rodriguez got to fight Alexander Volkanovski, even though it was weird they fought on the same card, but to win the interim title. But still, Yair Rodriguez becomes interim champ, he fights Volkanovski, he loses, it is what it is. But now we've seen the most useless interim title reign ever with Tom Aspinall winning the interim title because Dana White says, "Yeah, you might be the interim champion, but you're not fighting John Jones. No, we're gonna rebook the Stipe fight. Like, all he's gonna do is John Jones is gonna beat Stipe. He's gonna retire, and then you're gonna fucking upgrade Tom Aspinall to champion. Like, what's the point? Why don't you just strip the belt from John Jones? John Jones doesn't want to fight contenders. He just wants to fight Stipe Miocic. That could main event a card anytime it wants. It doesn't need a championship attached to it to make it a main event of a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point to keep the championship on John Jones. He's not going to go and fight contenders. We're not going to see John Jones versus Tom Aspinall more than likely. We're probably not going to see John Jones versus Sergey Pavlovich if he rebounds on a win, and we're not going to see John Jones versus Jailton Almeida or Curtis Blades, etc., etc. This is a one and done. He's going to beat Stipe. Let's say he does beat Stipe. You never know in MMA; things are unpredictable. But let's say he goes in there, beats Stipe Miocic. He's going to go and vacate the belt. So what is the point of having a placeholder champion like John Jones, just like holding the belt? You're just fucking over Tom Aspinall. He doesn't have anything to do now. Now, maybe he can fight somebody in the meantime, but the only option is Cyril Gane, and Cyril Gane doesn't deserve another fucking interim title fight. Like, Cyril Gane, I like the guy, he's a good bloke, but, like, Cyril Gane gets fucking title shots, like, I don't know, like a fucking slag opens their legs, like, like fucking Cyril Gane just gets title shot after title shot. He's like the fucking chick who she breaks up with a guy one day and the next day she's already got a new boyfriend. Cyril Gane is that girl. Cyril Gane is the girl at school who's just going for every boyfriend she can have so she can, brag when she's a fucking high school. I dated every guy in my primary school class. That is Cyril Gane. He just somehow, I don't know what he fucking does. Maybe he wears something that Dana really likes. I don't know. Maybe Dana and him have some sort of, I don't know, plan or something. I don't know. Maybe they're in cahoots for some sort of thing. Maybe Cyril Gane provides him with some really nice French wine, and and maybe Dana White just gets mesmerized by Cyril Gane's French accent. Maybe that really, gets Dana White's blood pumping. I don't fucking know. I don't understand it. Cyril Gane will probably get another interim title fight because Tom Aspinall's a young guy in his prime. He just had a year off because of an injury. He's not going to want to sit out that whole time. So we're going to have to see him probably defend his belt before they even rebook Jones versus Miocic. He's probably going to go in there, probably fight Cyril Gane, get a title defense as an interim champion. And then John Jones is going to beat Stipe. People are going to go, whoa, it's Bones. He's the real champ. Like, especially because if Tom Aspinall goes in there and beats Cyril Gane, then he's already beat Gane and he's beat Pavlovich. Jones has only beat Gane. Like, if that was to be the case, like, you could make the argument, like, Tom Aspinall would be the uncrowned, undisputed champion. But, people will just say, well, John Jones, he was the light heavyweight GOAT. So, he's the real champ. But, like, there's context towards this. Like, John Jones, one of the greatest fighters of all time, of course. But like in this context, Tom Aspinall is more legit as a heavyweight than John Jones. Especially because John Jones is going to go and fight Stipe. Stipe hasn't fought for 3 fucking years, and he's coming off a bad knockout loss. Stipe barely looks like he can walk properly. He looks like he needs to walk out with a fucking walking stick at this point. All respect to Stipe Miocic, absolute legend of the game, the greatest heavyweight of all time in my opinion. I never understood why they said that the winner of DC versus Stipe 3 would be the undisputed heavyweight GOAT. DC's not in the GOAT talks in my opinion for heavyweight. You could maybe put him in like a general GOAT talk since he was a double champ and he did defend both the belts. But no, he was never one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. And I'll die on that hill. All respect to DC and everything. I just mean, if you look at his resume at heavyweight, it's not really the most amazing thing. But still, to get back on the track, Tom Aspinall is getting fucking royally fucked over. Interim belts don't matter anymore. Dana White just gives fucking interim belts out like fucking lollipops at this point, and then what's the point of being interim champ if you're not gonna fucking fight? Defend your belt against the person who is the champion. What does interim mean to Dana White? Like, it's generally one of the most stupidest interim titles of all time. Like, generally, it just annoys me. John Jones is going to probably fight in like July, maybe International Fight Week or something. He's going to beat Stipe, and then he's going to go off into the sunset. He's going to get to have an amazing career send-off, and then everyone's going to just shit on Tom Aspinall when he gets fucking awarded the undisputed title, because people then say, well, he's not John Jones. He didn't beat John Jones. Well, John Jones is actually the real heavyweight champion. Like, that's all that people are going to use while Tom Aspinall's champion. Like, it is, and it's gonna fucking drive me nuts. I might actually fucking stop watching the sport. Not really, I'll never stop watching the sport, but still, it'll drive me nuts. Like, you need to, like, make John Jones sign that he will not retire after Stipe. We need to see John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. We just need to see. If John Jones goes out and beats them, then fucking hell, he is up there for the heavyweight GOAT. That will be his third title defense. The record is free by Stipe. If he went out there and beat Aspinall, you could argue he's up there as one of the heavyweight GOATs. Obviously, Stipe's whole career was a heavyweight, and he beat a lot of other good guys outside of his title reign, so I'd still have Stipe as the heavyweight GOAT, but still, you'd have an argument for John Jones being in the top 5 heavyweights of all time. But instead, he's going to go right off into the sunset. He's never fought a big heavyweight either. He fought Cyril Gane, he's going to fight Stipe. We'll never have seen him against like a big heavyweight like Tom Aspinall. There'll just be so many questions we'll have about John Jones versus like the big heavyweights versus an actual well-rounded heavyweight like Tom Aspinall. Like, so many things could have been tested, but we won't see that fight. Tom Aspinall will get awarded or upgraded, I should say, to undisputed champion. I think he's the uncrowned champion in my opinion. I think Tom Aspinall is the best heavyweight in the world right now. He's in his prime. John Jones is 36 years old, which I guess at heavyweight's not that old. But, like, we have seen the signs of slowing down. I guess he did look great against Cyril Gane, but I'm not going to forget that Dominic Reyes performance. I can't forget it. Maybe that's just a light heavyweight John Jones problem, but I just think Tom Aspinall is better than Dominic Reyes and bigger. I just think he's a nightmare matchup. But still, it just pisses me off. Like, Dana White's completely fucked over the heavyweight division. We're going to have to wait for the fucking Stipe Miocic to probably get his fucking dentures fixed, have a nice fucking little nap at the retirement home, Sonny boy, comes out fucking with his walking stick, he comes out, he gets his fucking knees oblique kicked in fucking 25 seconds, John Jones wins via fucking knee stomp KO. Stipe Miocic is fucking unable to walk anymore now, so now he's wheelchair bound, and then he's gonna retire, and everyone's like, wow, what a performance, he just beat the greatest heavyweight of all time, even though he's fucking 45 years old. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's a farce of a fight. I like the fight, but I don't think it needs to have a championship belt on it, I feel like they need to get rid of John Jones as champion. I'm not just saying it because he's inactive, because he's injured. That is not the reason. Don't get me wrong. Injuries happen. I understand that. And that is 100% no fault of John Jones. He shouldn't be stripped of the belt because he's injured. That is stupid. You can't make that argument. But what I'm saying is, when he is not going to be defending against the interim champion, that is a problem. When he's going to be defending against old man Stipe, hasn't got a win in 4 years, that is where I have a problem with this. That's when I think it's a ridiculous thing to do. That's when I have to fucking say, like, why does that fight need a championship belt attached to it? Stipe hasn't won since 2019 against fucking DC. He got brutally KO'd by fucking Francis Ngannou. You know, he got dominated by Ngannou in the rematch. Why is he getting a fucking another title fight? Like, you know, it's I don't know, it's ridiculous to me. It doesn't make like any fucking sense whatsoever. And once it happens, who knows? The fucking like Tom Aspinall. I guess Tom Aspinall can fight the winner of Almeida Blades or something like that. I don't even know what the fuck Tom Aspinall does. I guess they'll just give it to Cyril Gahn. Uh, I don't know. Just no meaning. There is no meaning towards being an interim champion anymore. Like, what was the point? Like, they were scrambling to fix the 295 card. They're like, oh, let's fucking give Tom Aspinall a fucking Tom Aspinall versus Sergey Pavlovich. Let's give him a meaningless interim title that they won't get to defend. Like, watch them like strip Tom Aspinall of the interim title while he's waiting for John Jones Stipe, because they'll say, oh, you know, well, you're not fighting the champion, so we're going to strip your kid. It's like you didn't offer him a fucking fight. I don't understand it. I think it's a fucking ridiculous farce. But anyway, I've ranted on long enough. Thanks for watching. Make sure you leave a like. Let me know your thoughts on this situation. Is it driving you mad as well? The interim title has absolutely fucking killed the momentum of the heavyweight division. Hopefully Tom Aspinall can take a fight in between. I would hate to see him have to sit out for another year, pretty much, because now he's like fucking stuck in limbo. But anyway, that's all I've got to say, so thank you for watching. Leave a like. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I fucking put out so much MMA content. I try and be the most consistent MMA YouTuber on this platform. I try and upload the most videos. I try and be the most informative. You know, I try and make videos on all sorts of combat sports related things. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.